everyone, and welcome to QuestionPro Office Hours. We are so glad that you're here joining us across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we could not be more thrilled to be sharing this last Office Hours with you this year. We're taking next month off because of New Year's and Christmas, and honestly, I want to be on vacation. If you didn't know me, I'm Crystal Weiss. I'm the Director of Marketing here at QuestionPro. And I host these office hours every month where we ask and answer the most basic questions about QuestionPro. Today, our theme is optimizing customer experience, or the CX experience. And I am joined by an amazing guest on the other side of the world, even, which is one of my favorite things about QuestionPro is we're totally global. And Gino, introduce yourself.
Hey, Crystal, thanks for that. It's nice to be here, and it's not so late in Dubai, so I am okay with that. So, but it's
I know
still
you're
nice.
based in Dubai right now.
Now I'm in India, so I'm in travel. So I traveled for a project to Dubai, so I'm here for at least a couple of months now.
I love that.
Yeah, and yeah, it's still night, but yeah, thank you. I'm Gino. I head the customer success division for CX product lines in QuestionPro. So basically, we are into managing the customers post sales for implementation, customer support, a bit of consulting on the product side, plus the day-to-day relationship management with the client. So that's
awesome.
pretty much what we do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us out of Dubai. And I'm based in Austin, Texas. And so, we really do full service support for our customers, and we're all around the world for anybody who's joining us. If you need support, we have a 24-hour chat line. Even they help me sometimes when I'm like, hey guys, I don't know how to do this. And then we have people like Ginu, who obviously are a bit more hands-on and really come in for consulting and support that way. Well, today we're talking about CX. And if you didn't know, QuestionPro has a full CX platform. And a lot of times when you talk about the customer experience, you really think about the end portal, right? Like, oh, was the restroom clean? How was the barista making my coffee? And there's so many pieces of the CX journey that sometimes I think people get caught up in maybe one area of the journey, or I guess let me say it, the loop, for a better word. But if you think about customer experience from the most simple start, where do you think someone should start when they start thinking about the customer experience journey for themselves and for their customers?
Now, yeah, there are multiple folds to this again, right? So what we envision as customer experience, I mean, it's a vast topic, one of the highest selling modules in the world right now in terms of technology, as well as experience, as well as consultation. So it's a very vast topic. For me, anything and everything is customer experience. The moment you step out of your home, go to your groceries, get your sodas and get your colas in, and then you come back. That's where the customer experience starts, right?
Right.
You're used to finding those aisles in a proper manner. You're used to finding those aisles in a iterative manner. On if you've seen that aisle preparation as well, right? So it's not like randomly things are put together in place, and people just walk around and get their stuff now.
Well, I mean, sometimes that's how the grocery store feels.
It's like my wife, she starts from one area, go into the entire aisles one by one, and then start purchasing. So people like her, it really means a lot to see things in an order, right? So that's a basic of customer experience, I would say. And for someone to start using customer experience, it starts with collecting data, right? So you cannot just provide a customer experience without handling good data at your part. So for me, the basic start of your customer experience is collecting good data about your customers, keeping that handy, understand what they are exactly doing. Even the call center agents who call the customers and understand what what their need is should be able to deliver a great experience by collecting relevant data for the customer. Now that's where the QuestionPro suite comes in handy, right? So based on
That
the
is probably where it starts. But
yeah.
how would you, okay, so let's say that I am Bob the baker and Bob has a bakery and he's getting, medium reviews online.
Mhm.
How do and but he wants to start sending out surveys, or he wants to have, Square a lot of times now has automated surveys at the very end. When they start collecting that data, and you may not be ready for a platform, when do you decide, okay, I've started collecting enough data that now I'm ready? What's the tipping point for that full CX experience?
Got it. So Bob need to understand how the customer travels through his business, right?
Yeah.
And where he wants to expand us, or where he want to um, expand his business, maybe 5 years, maybe 1 year. So based on that plan,
Mm-hmm.
Bob should understand where should he start with, or what should he start with. We can start as low as collecting 10 samples a month and start analyzing that data, if that idea of Bob is to expand in like 5 years. But if we
Right.
will grow
Oh,
aggressively from a medium to an enterprise level organization, then we should start collecting data. And before even start collecting data, understand, dissect your business into multiple different modules and understand what all your customers go through from day zero to day one to day two to how many ever days they
but what
in this.
I'm hearing is Bob needs a business reason to start a CX program.
Absolutely. For me, I think that Bob needs a
Yeah.
business reason.
Because I think so many times people think, well, I need to collect data or I need to send out surveys because that's what everybody does,
Mhm.
right? Like, oh, I own a business, I need to collect data. But unless you have a reason, like you want to expand your business, you want to improve revenue. I mean, everybody wants to improve revenue, but you want to do things to actually do that. Like you want to open a second location, improve your online reviews. Having a business reason then to use your CX data is really the catalyst.
Absolutely. So you should understand what you're heading towards. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
brand value, nothing related to revenue, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what's your focus and what exactly you want and how exactly you want to drive your business? Depends on that. You can start creating a CX program. It's as low as, it's not just making your customers happy, or it's not just making your experience better. It's a whole lot compared to what's in the phrase of that particular interaction. So you should understand your business, dissect it properly into 10 different modules if you may be, understand how your customers transfer through each touch point. And on a day-to-day basis, sometimes one customer can go through the entire journey altogether. Sometimes there are customers who plug into each touch point and experience that and retract. So based on that, we should be actually creating programs for the betterment of
Right.
that particular touch point. Now map it all together,
Oh,
that becomes your CX program.
interesting. Okay, uh I have a fun question.
Sure.
Do you ever use this is with your family or in your life, do you ever accidentally use the CX vernacular? Like, we should create a program for this or the touch points we have here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was like,
So
the
it,
way
it,
you're talking about it, I was like, you use these words in everyday life.
so my wife, who is a criminologist, still understand what customer experience is. Living with me, she understand what, and even when that goes into my travel plans as well. The when creating that plan, it's from inception to creating an itinerary, then going through ticket booking, going through hotel reservations, uh, everywhere. I kind of map it out, and then we start that entire.
You're like, my whole life is a program with different modules in which I optimize.
I mean, it's that useful, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
makes things easier. It makes things more conclusive. It makes things more visible to a person when you perceive things in that manner.
Yeah.
That has helped me personally, but I've seen businesses, even small scale businesses, using the basic idea of surveys and creating a program out of that. For example, the customer is using our essential licenses or team edition licenses. Basically, even they do have a program in mind. It's not like they're coming in with the idea of just surveying customers and not know what they are doing with the data, right?
Right.
So it's It's about the maturity. The more mature you are, and the more need of your customer experience in your organization, your need of your program, or need of your technology partners grow. Um, you know, like I said, the QuestionPro suite starts with a team edition, and even there you can design a program and start surveying people and collect data on a small scale. And as you mature into this CX, and as you evolve, as your organization is ready to evolve into these mature programs in CX, then you will be able to, correlate to major programs and come to the proper CX, module altogether within the system. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'll get back to. I know I kind of threw you off because I just started asking random questions. These were not the questions that he had sent beforehand, but that's the best part about office hours. Um, so I really do want to dive into the CX platform just a little bit because I know that people love being able to see what we're talking about.
Mhm.
So, can you just kind of walk us through what the CX platform at Question Pro looks like, and even the basics or the beginnings, which would be an NPS question, which most people would recognize, I think, in the world. I didn't even know it had a name until I started working at Question Pro. And so, the NPS question is on that scale of 1 to 10. Or the other day I was taking a survey and it was 10 to 1. And at the end, I just wanted to be like, you guys put this question in backwards, and I didn't like it. um, but, if you could walk us through that a little bit and share your screen,
Sure. Give me a minute.
then we'll get started. If you guys have any questions, please drop them into the chat window and we'll answer them from there. Again, I'm Crystal Weiss. I'm the Director of Marketing, and I'm joined by Ginu, who is the Head of Customer Success for our CX program. And here we are diving into the Question Pro CX platform. What do we got here, Ginu?
Yeah, so we are in a server workspace. So this is where we create, this is where we start our programs as a basic. So once after you log in, this is a screen that you get when you create a survey. You can add, edit, modify all your questions. But my attention for you right now is on the top right, top left corner where you see survey, deploy, analytics, action, and admin. That's the
Mm,
base, or um, that's how the CX module is constructed. So surveys is where you come and design your surveys, create your surveys, the
right.
0 to 10 NPS scale question. I'll come to this a bit later about what this
Ooh,
NPS
root
trust
cause.
question
I
is,
like this
really
part.
interesting one. But yeah, deploy is where you control your deployments, be it email, SMS, or if you want to consume in other modern ways of WhatsApp, Telegram, Line, etc. This is where you
Oh,
come and design that particular deployment cycles and deployment metrics for you. You can even see your basic, details about how the deployment went against each of your uploads, or each of your deployment cycles over here. So it's a very descriptive screen, and it accommodates most of the deployment method that's adopted in the world right now, including FTPs, including your manual options, API based, which is very much in power right now in the entire world.
mm. Oh no. Well, Ginu, I think I lost you. Give me 1 second. Do, do, do. Do you want to turn your mic off and then uh, turn your camera off, and hopefully that will help reset? Ginu, are you there? Well, it looks like I lost Ginu. Oh, I don't know what that was. Looks like I lost Ginu. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Did you lose me?
Oh, look at you. Okay, great. You're back now. Wonderful. Maybe not. You're frozen again. Okay. Well, Ginu is walking us through the CX platform as it is seen here. Um, and he's frozen again. Do, do, do. Ah, there we go. Um, Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's all those things. Oh no, that's okay. Um, if uh, this is why we love doing live shows because sometimes, it is a little rowdy. Ginu's smiling face is so happy, even though we can't hear him. Um, I really want to talk about our CX platform, but we may have to delay. And oh, bye. Hey, Jesus, I'm gonna bring you on. Well, and Jesus is here in the background, hanging out and
Hey everyone.
helping me run ops on this. And oh, there we go. And we got Gina back.
We
I'm
got
back.
Ginny back. Perfect.
Perfect. Oh, that was wild. But that's why we love doing things live. It's fine.
I don't know what happened, but I was online. I could chat with you on the other channel, but I don't know what happened here.
That's okay. Um, so let's just we were going through the dashboard and through the programs, and if you want to send me the account you were using, Gino, I can log in and share my screen here.
Sure.
Um, and then we can kind of talk about our okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I can log in and do that. We were kind of, talking about the beginnings of a CX platform and what that looks like. And, really getting ready to learn the CX platform. Oh, found it. I'm coming.
This is fun. This is the first time I'm getting cut out of a live streaming. So
I mean, this is, a lot of what we work on at what my job is working on the fly. So, welcome to marketing. Here we go. I think we're in here. We're in one of these. We can go to surveys. Is this where I'm supposed to be?
yeah, if you can switch back from the product switcher and from customer experience, select CX.
There we go.
Yeah, that's CX.
And then survey. Here we
Yeah,
are in the workspace that you were just talking about.
thank you. So as I was explaining, I don't want to kill more time over here beyond
No,
the
you're
delayed.
fine. We've got an hour.
All right. So we were in the surveys, and I just explained how we can design surveys. It's simple. You just come here into the screen. Add question will give you the options to add questions. That's the add logo. You can add as many as you can, and you can reuse the logos based on the question or based on the survey that you're in. So it's that easy and dynamic. So once you click on add question, it opens up a library of questions for you on the left hand side. So there are some basic questions that you get, by default, and this is majorly used by all the product lines in QuestionPro. It's a shared question base. Some of them are relevant to market research, some of them are relevant to customer experience, but yeah, we don't restrict customers from choosing what they need when it comes to designing the surveys. But the real game is coming into the advanced tab. So over there, you can see what is very relevant for CX. So you can see the NPS plus question, you can see the Net Promoter Score question, and the customer satisfaction question right below that. So these are very relevant to customer satisfaction, customer experience module. Now let me talk about NPS question first, and then I'll come to the NPS plus. So as you all know, this is a recommendation question. This is not like your standard scale where you get the 5 as a median, and anything below 5 is a negative, or 5 is the neutral. It's not that. It's a curated study. A lot of brain has gone into this particular metric. And a lot of customers, in fact, most of our CX customers are basically using customer experience, NPS question for their analysis.
You know what though? As a consumer, I did not realize that 6 and 7, even 8, were passives.
Exactly.
I always assumed that 5, and so then when I want to be like, when before I worked at Question Pro, but when I wanted to be like, ugh, they're not bad, I would always put 5s, and then I was like, oh no, these people think I think they're terrible.
So that's the case, right? So why should be a 5 when I can give you an experience to make you a 9 or a 10? That's the whole idea of NPS, and that's where the base study should start from, the lowest of the lowest, I must say, and then come into a very mature model where you close all the gaps, where you cover all the areas, and then provide them optimum experience to your customer. Uh, so that's NPS, and if you go back to the question screen, you can again
I'm going.
um,
Oh no, abort. Hold on. Where'd it go?
just
There we go. Add question.
yeah, advanced
He's
and
like, I can't believe I have to depend on her to drive this.
an NPS Plus, right? So this is going to be a fun, interactive way to redefine the NPS question altogether. This is an IP of QuestionPro. Our president for CX actually invested his time and created this particular question. It's
Shout
three
out to
questions.
Ken.
Yeah, shout out to Ken. So this is actually three questions clubbed into one question, which gives you a lot of analysis in by itself. So as you can see, it's a basic NPS scale question at the top, followed by a root cause question in the bottom. So what it does is, if you're a detractor, when you select from 0 to 6, that's actually going to give you, an option to go down and select what went wrong. You can add root causes based on what your organization business looks like. It's completely editable. With one click, you can just create these root causes. Plus, you can also go ahead and bulk edit it if you want to from an open screen. Right? It's that easy. Again, for 7 and 8, which are your passives, the screens will switch to what can you improve.
Hold on,
Dynamic.
I'm going. Oh, here we go. This one?
The one above is what can you improve. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was an
Now,
option
so
here.
basically, your detractors, your passives are clubbed default together with root causes. But if you want to separate them, you can always separate them with the options that you want to go with.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry,
it's
it
again,
wasn't smelly. I was like, what's
right?
happening?
It's like people come with the expectation of having their oranges really red. So we do provide that option as well. So whatever you like.
It was blue. Make it blue. Okay. Uh, make it smell nice. Okay. Smelly nice. Make it smell nice. There we go. Done
Yeah.
editing.
And it
Cool.
doesn't end there. You also want to understand what's good about you, right? And if
Yep.
you're if you whatever you think is good is really good by your customers as well. So you want to understand that. So that's where it suddenly switches to what we are doing good at. And those texts are completely editable, and you can do as you like when on the survey creation. Now, this is followed by an open text comment. You can always go ahead and fill in that particular and vent out whatever you want in that particular section. And we do two things over here. Now, the fun part of this is really coming into the analytics. The analytics is basically giving you a churn risk. That's the algorithm Ken had come up with when building this particular model into the reporting in for the reporting purposes. So I'm not sure if
Is there a churn risk in here?
now let me go back and
Do, do, do. I also do that. And tell me where you want me to go.
now and let me try sharing my screen once again, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Go. I'll keep
And I
mine down
think
here just in case.
it was the hotel bandwidth. I'm not really sure. but I'll try once again. If that fails, back to you, Crystal.
No, I'm here, ready to help.
All right, so this is what I was talking about, right? So, in a nutshell, you can see what your
Mm,
NPS scoring is, your distribution against it. Again, all of this are clickable. You can just drill down to the detractors really quick by clicking on it. And if you want to go to a single response, it's again clickable.
yeah.
It's that interactive, the dashboards. So it's completely drilled down, and it gives you a distribution by time if you have collected data over time. In my demo system, I don't have data worth 3 or 4 months. So yeah.
Right.
So this is the interesting part that I was coming into. So you can see a distribution of your root causes by promoters, passives, and detractors clubbed together. And if you want to separate them, you can always separate them as well. Plus, you can see your key factors for your churn risk, and your churn risk calculated based on the
Oh.
algorithm that we have developed. Again, thanks to Ken. So you can also see the comments and open text feedbacks that your customers have provided by three different categories again: promoter, passives, and detractor. So you can see we are never going beyond the NPS methodology. We are very well within that, but we are creating a much more better experience for the customers to understand, or the company to understand how they can improve the services, where they are going right, where they're going wrong, and how what sorts of customers are likely to stay back with you, and how many are going to churn, and really work on those churn cases as you see here as a key factors. This could be multiple different root causes coming into play when it comes to the churn risk, but you always want to see that top three or top five and target them first, which are taking your business down the drain. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing, nowadays people have got attention span issues, and it's proven by many psychologists, proven by many human beings around the world that we do lack attention. So this being a question, no, three questions in one single iteration. This is really quick method. It improves your response rate. It decreases your
Mm.
dropouts. Plus, it really engages the customer to give you that right feedback at the right moment, rather than
Because
scroll.
you could really just do this one survey, like this one question, and get out enough to do and make an action plan just using
Absolutely.
even that one question.
Absolutely. Imagine
I love
again,
that.
going back to the grocery here, right? Imagine somebody coming into your business daily, and they don't want to be bothered with so many questions on a daily basis. Just give this one
Right.
question, get the experience right, get the reasons right for the experience, and then act on it. And it gives you everything on the fly over here on the analytics. You don't have to go do your analytics separately and understand what is going wrong and
Right.
where it is going wrong. It's one shot. It's so
Mm-hmm.
easy.
It's just so easy. Everyone should have a CX program. So,
You should have a CX program, by the way. I wonder why people don't have a CX program.
we use the CX platform for QuestionPro X Day actually.
Hmm.
And it definitely, as a user, starting to kind of get in there and look around, it was really, really interesting to see this question play out as people added feedback and then also voted on feedback. I know you haven't talked about that yet, but I think that's the most fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's so engaging, I would say. Even
Mm-hmm.
when I came into Question Pro, this is one of the factors that wowed me out. What have you done? You've just created a method to kill different problems altogether as for an organization. Basically, as I said, the response rates are decreasing day by day, and innovative methods like this can really engage with the customer just on that point, which really gives you the right results and the expected results out of what a CX program should look like. So, as you said, just have one question and your program is complete in terms of delivery.
Now I have my questions back though that I'm supposed to be asking you. So, when people start, when you, let's say, put one of these questions into the wild, how do you know when someone starts answering them? Is there an automated alert system? Do you want to pull a report every week or every month? I
Mhm.
think sometimes so many people turn systems on and then like not forget it's running, but definitely don't stay active on it. How do you remember to get this in front of people's minds?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Crystal. And that becomes one of the crucial element of CX. Yeah, you're collecting data, you're understanding what your customer's talking about you, but what are you doing about it? Now
Right.
we have something called this closed loop, which is an extension to complete your customer looping in terms of we call it as a loop because it's a never-ending process. You collect the feedback, understand what your customer needs, go back to them, talk to them, resolve that issue for them. Again, back to square one. They'll be in your program,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we can have automated alerts created for the customers when a response is basically delivered to you. You can have that particular uh, notifications created for your user base based on a response value, based on a variable that
Mm.
you can really pull up. So as you can see over here, I can have different notifications created. One among them is my so easy. So one among them is my closed loop. So when I can write up a criteria which basically says if this is particularly entered, responses entered based on a system variable, based on a
Oh.
geolocation, based on the device that you're particularly handling, the language, or even the question itself. If that question is present, just create an alert for me. And when I'm meeting this particular criteria, I can basically do different things. One, I can send an email to the relevant parties to say such as a response have come in, and
Mm-hmm.
you're automatically delivered with the entire message plus the response data that your customer has given you. And many of our customers utilize this. In fact, all of our CX customers utilize it because they want to know, they want to be engaged in the
Yeah.
entire program altogether, right? And this is also developing the culture in your organization. So a CX program just doesn't, as I told in the beginning, it just doesn't start or end by collecting. It has to happen.
It just doesn't magically happen by sending out a
Yeah,
survey.
absolutely. So you need to develop that culture. You need to make people engaged, be it your frontline managers or frontline staff. They need to be engaged. And this is one of the
Mm-hmm.
methods with which you adapt to a CX, customer-centric culture, I would say, within your organization. So you can start sending emails. And the fun part of it, we can create a ticket. This works like any particular ticketing platforms out there. You create a ticket, you assign auto assign or you manually assign that ticket to someone. They are responsible to call the customer back or email the customer back and get the right reasons and convert that customer from a detractor to a passive and possibly a passive to a promoter. That's the whole idea.
I have a
And
question.
yeah,
I don't raise my hand. Uh, can you track that customers um like passive detractor promoter journey in the system? I don't know if that's a thing. Or is that
absolutely.
too? Oh, okay, great.
No, it's a good question, and it allows me to open what we have planned in store. So as you know, we have acquired Suite CX as a product line, who is one of the pioneers in journey mapping and customer journey experience in the market, led by that.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing, we're integrating with Suite CX by this month or the end of December, I would say, practically this year. And what it gives you is you can define the touch points, you can define the journey maps for a particular customer, and it properly gives you an outlay of what an entire customer has been through throughout a period of time. So let's say the customer has interacted with you on 10 different occasions. Five of them are with a customer satisfaction survey, but few of them are on different touch points, maybe a sales experience, maybe a support experience. So you can
Right.
clump those things together and have a holistic view of what the customer is experiencing from your organization as a whole. You just don't have to depend on that annual survey just to create that holistic experience, going through each departmental questions and asking, are you satisfied with A, B, C? No. This particular tool allows you to create that particular journey of your customers and then start giving a report out, which basically will tell you what they felt at each touch point level. Now, touch points are basically your interaction points within your organization that a customer could potentially be engaged with. For example, sales is a touch point, as I call it. So,
Right.
how was your experience in sales? Not every customer should go through. Once the sales is done, they will only interact with support. But creating this journey together, a 360-degree view, and connecting these programs together will give you that journey map, which will tell you what's the customer journey score or lifetime value altogether.
For sure. I always get very frustrated when I'm on like a chat, like a live chat with someone, and I'm like, I know that you have a system that is tying this all together. You should have all of my previous chat history. You should have my survey data, and and I'm always just like, I don't understand why you're asking me the same questions over again. You should have this in our system. But I think it's because we're a little spoiled.
Yeah, just a glance of our CX ticketing tool. This is my personal system, nothing fancy in here. But yeah, it gives you the ticket summary, the open rates, the escalator. You can even escalate it to your management if the ticket is not actioned um, within certain time. Let's say 24 hours of after receiving the feedback, after getting the ticket created, you should be reaching out to your customers within the 24-hour mark. Ideally 8 hours, but 24 hours is still okay, right? If not action, what can you do next? So that's where we have created one more step. You can auto escalate that to your management if this particular ticket is not created. And is your ticketing performance dealt on time? So you can always set your overdue periods, have a set SLA for your callback agents who is calling the customers back,
Yep.
basically your line managers or the callback team itself, and then start tracking that performance itself. And
You not only need a journey for your to track your customers through, right? Like the customer kind of takes themselves to their own journey, right? They
absolutely.
browse online, they buy something, but you need to outline the journey for your entire team too. Hey, this is what we do. This is how we're prepared for these situations almost ahead of time, like playbooks almost.
Absolutely. So that's part of it, right? And again, interestingly, from closed loop is just that beginning of the tunnel where you get real-time feedback and real-time conversions of a customer from within a feedback. Now, once
Mm-hmm.
that is done, you're sitting on top of a lot of data. Literally, you're sitting on top of a gold mine of insights. Now, convert those insights into statistical or strategical elements within your organization. Coming
Mm-hmm.
back to my previous point, there should be a business case for every CX
Right.
program, right? So how do you
That
manage?
seems to be a key here is there needs to be a business case for why you're going to do something.
Yeah,
But we all know that sometimes you're just the boss tells you to do something and then you do it, but you don't know why. I'm assuming there are some people out there running CX programs because they got told you need a CX program.
yeah, yeah.
So always, Gina's like, yes, I've ran into those people. I know. But really try to make sure that you know why you're doing something. I think that's like good. That's good business lessons and good life lessons.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. It's not about just finishing off your budget, but have a purpose, have a reason towards improvement, have a
Yeah.
reason towards why do you want to do this. Or you might as well just close that budget and sit on top of it and enjoy some free dinners.
Right. You're like, cool.
Well,
Okay, so where are we at now? We're in outer. Now
outer.
we're in outer loop. There's so many loops. I just call them all the loops, which
Yeah,
I
so
asked it if we could just name that in the platform, and I got a hard no.
this is like this, right? You can call the closed loop program an inner loop, which basically just sits on that feedback level or an organization level and just understand what you're exactly doing with the customers, plus what you need to change for the customers. Now, coming into the broader picture in the organization, you might want to change 10 different things this year, but are you really choosing those 10 things after you heard your customers, right? You have to hear your customers, understand the pain points, and then start initiatives within your organization, which basically gives you an ROI, gives you a revenue benefit, gives you a brand value, as just few examples out there, and then start working towards it. So that's where outer loop comes into picture. Outer loop creates that opportunity from within the CX platform and from within the closed loop platform. You can pipe in data to this particular platform with a native integration, then start creating initiatives, which basically is nothing but uh, projects. You can compare this particular tool to a project management tool. You can start
Mm-hmm.
creating a project, Uh, and then start assigning your priority, create your project lanes. So lanes are nothing but your categories of projects or your initiatives. You can just
Okay.
put or assign the lanes inside it. Then put your priority, what sorts of priority you're putting for your. So let's say your customers are constantly complaining about bad service. Now you don't want to just deal that on a low priority. You want to put that on a higher critical priority when you're
Right.
trying to tackle that. Now you can directly choose it to a particular, link it to a particular feedback. Let's say your customer satisfaction survey, link it to that particular survey.
Hmm.
Create a bunch of root causes against why things are going wrong. This can be directly pulled from the centralized repository that we create for NPS Plus, your closed
Nice.
loop, and then it travels onto outer loop. So you don't have to manage these things separately. You created it one area for NPS Plus that travels into your closed loop, and then it ultimately travels into your outer loop. So root causes are not just some random words out there. It really carries a lot of weight, right?
I have another question. um, do you ever, there's a lot of vernacular in the CX world, as I'm
Mhm.
seeing, right? Is there when you really have to start walking people through what this means, do you, there's a little bit of a catch up, it feels like, if you were brand new to a CX program. I don't know if there's not like a CX degree that you can get for this. I don't think. How
Absolutely.
did fun fact. Okay, well, I mean there wasn't at my college, but how do
So
you where would you recommend people kind of start learning this vernacular? Because even just this where you're like, okay, now do your NPS plus, then it goes into the closed loop, and then it goes to the outer loop, and then you have your root cause, and I was like, Gino.
no, it was the same for me when I started the CX journey. I didn't really understand it. I thought it's all gibberish, but uh, that is an industry standard term, to be honest. We do have certification programs and we do have learner programs in Question Pro where
Yeah.
we, introduce the customers towards the world of CX, make them understand what this entire concept means, and then start
Hmm.
that journey together with them into the organization. So we do have trainings that are available, and those trainings are converted into certifications. There are multiple levels of training here in terms of product, in terms of the satellite products like Outer Loop and Closed Loop separately. We do have those certifications as well.
So
Plus,
then
we
you can learn all the loops.
all the loops, yeah, basically.
And I know we definitely we partner with Carl from Horizon
Horizon,
CX,
yeah.
who is just absolutely wonderful. He actually runs CXBS or CX behind the scenes on once a month with us in partnership. And so we really do have all that support. So do not let Gino and his vernacular and his loops and his causes and his screens defer you, because if you really want to learn CX, we can support that. And as he said, and as I'm saying, we both came into this industry and we thought it was a bunch of gibberish, but now we understand its value and why it's here. And we really want to support our viewers and anyone who's along for the Question Pro ride, or even if you're a Question Pro user or on the CX and you don't want to admit that you don't know what we're talking about, we won't tell anyone when you sign up for the training. We promise. Right? It's like it's a secret. And so really make sure you lean into that, because I definitely don't want there was my eyes glazed there for about a second and I had to catch myself.
But yeah, as I said, Carl is a genius. Carl has created a wonderful program. I had the opportunity to go through that certification myself. I would highly recommend to anyone who wants to start and understand what CX is all about and why CX is important and why CX and how CX is delivered within an organization and to your
Yeah.
customers. So yeah,
So tell us, we've got about 15 minutes or 10 minutes left. Tell us like what's the best kept secret of CX? If there's one thing in a CX program that you can't live without, what is it?
I would say for me the personal favorite is closed loop. The effect of
Ooh.
the effect of close looping with your looping then closing that loop with your customer and how positively it impacts your organization. I've seen that transformations with many, many customers that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. Your customers want to be heard. Don't
Mm-hmm.
ever think that your customers don't want to be heard. They want to be heard. If they are providing your feedback and taking that time out and giving your feedback, that means they either are really frustrated or they really do care about your business. Now, how effectively you engage with them. You have your personal means, but they have told you a problem. They have told you that, I'm facing such and such issue with this particular service or your organization as a whole. That that's your entry point to get that customer into a loyalty group within your organization. I take that as an opportunity,
Mm.
right? You are engaging with a customer who really wanted to give you feedback, who wants to be heard. And how do you determine that you want to be heard? Is through that particular program. Understand your customers,
Mm.
understand if you're doing the right thing, if you're doing the wrong thing. Maybe a customer who was unhappy today could be happy 10 days down the line. That really depends on the closed loop program. That it's that effective.
Wow, you're good, man. Gino, you should be a sales guy. That's awesome. Well, and then if there is one other thing, what is one more thing that we've missed kind of in the CX platform? I know we missed one of the loops, right? There's inner, outer, closed. I thought there were four.
Now there are two: inner loop and outer loop. Inner loop is also called closed loop. Outer loop is where you take that
Oh.
insights and then convert it into an organization level project, assign some contributors, teams who are working towards this common goal. And it also lets you do what is your end ROI out of this particular project. Could be money, could be certain KPIs that needs to be improved. So you can tie it down to that, granular level and then start running these programs.
I love that. That sounds like the perfect conclusion to our Question Pro CX office hours. We really, as Ginu said, we're here to support you. Just reach out to us at sales@questionpro.com or connect with either of us on LinkedIn. Ginu is probably more useful than I am, but you can always connect with me. And if you really want to get your CX program going, let us know. We are always happy to help. And if you already have your CX program going and you don't quite know what you're doing, we have certifications and classes available to help you get up to speed and really nurture you through that. It's the perfect time to start thinking about your customers because it's the end of the year and Cyber Monday is happening right now here in the States, I'm sure everywhere, and really get those Christmas presents and sent out. But you also want to understand your customer's journey, so make sure you get your CX program going. And we think that we're some of the best CX software out there. We know it. Don't think it, we know
We know it.
it. Well, Ginu, thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely Monday. And everybody, we wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year. We will see you back in January. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Have a wonderful holiday ahead and a great week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.